Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video where we are going to be reviewing the brand new Minka eyeshadow palette from Adept Cosmetics. I have been dying to get my hands on this one because when I saw those sneak peeks and when she said it was going to be, the shimmers from House of L, I was like, say less, I need this. Now this was gifted to me by the brand, so I'm very grateful that they sent it my way. But of course, my review, my opinions, it's going to be how I typically do. I'm gonna give you guys my honest raw opinions. Now, if this is your first time joining me, hi, welcome, I'm Jamila. I love all things beauty, I love all things makeup, I love all things skincare, and I especially love sharing my tips and tricks for how to find high-end and luxury beauty products at bargain prices. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I would absolutely love if you would consider subscribing and joining the fam. Alright, so standard operating procedure here. I'm gonna give you guys some product details, I will do some live swatches, and then I'm just gonna dive into one quick eye look, and then we'll come back and wrap things up with my first impression thoughts. This is a first impressions video, so my opinions could change the more I use this, so take it with a grain of salt because it's gonna be my first time trying this. First thing I want to say is that the palettes from Adept Cosmetics come really securely shipped, and I honestly truly appreciate that. So it comes in this box, and you'll see that the palette fits really snugly in here, so there isn't any real movement, and that helps with, preventing any breakage. There's also another foam that goes over this, so, it comes in this box, and then this box comes in another box. Now, it is a lot of packaging, I will admit that, but I do feel like the palettes here are super secure. I've never had anything break on me. And it's just something I feel like a lot of other brands need to consider, especially if they have those soft, real fragile shimmers. Anyways, so this is the packaging, which I haven't even taken out. You'll see that the plastic does have some product details. Now, one thing to note about the Adept packaging is that once you take off this plastic wrap, there's nothing else on the packaging. It is just this sort of leather or faux leather packaging that doesn't have any details on there. So if you need like ingredients, descriptions, all of that, it's not on the actual packaging. So I'm just gonna take off this. There's a little plastic wrap here. And on the packaging here, it does say that this was made in China. It has a 24-month shelf life, and it is cruelty-free and vegan. So similar packaging to previous Adept Cosmetics palette, you'll see it has this leather or faux leather, I'm not sure if it's real leather or not, design. It has the name of the palette in this gold hardware, and again, there's nothing on the back. I think it's really sleek, really cute, gives me luxury if I'm being honest. Once you open it up, you have the 12 shades. It comes with 2 mattes and 10 shimmers, and really beautiful. I know there are some multichromes in here. You'll see there are 2 different textures, the more chunky shimmers here, and then you have these 2 sort of smooth metallic shades. Now on the website, it does say that this palette is full of extremely sparkly shimmers, duochromes, and multichromes of various textures. There are 2 mattes included to complement your look. It is 100% glitter-free. It's vegan and talc-free, BHT-free, and does contain mineral oil. The formula is creamy and will need to be kept in a cool, dry place. Some shades are a gel cream mixture. And due to high amounts of shea butter in the shimmers, this formula may not be suitable for oily lids. So to avoid creasing, a good eye primer is recommended. So if you do have oily lids, just something to be mindful of. If you do experience creasing with eyeshadows, just take that into account when deciding if you want to purchase this. This palette will retail for $57, and it's going to launch October 22nd at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. I don't know what that is in Eastern Standard Time. I'll look it up and put it in some text down here. So it's going to retail for $57. One of the things that I did notice on the Adept Cosmetics website is that all of the palettes kind of have different pricing, which is interesting. For example, the Ninhydrin palette is $57. The Amunet palette is $53. The Heather Austin is $56. The Plain Jane is $58. And I wonder if it's because of the matte to shimmer ratio. Obviously, when you do multi-chromes and these kind of super sparkly shimmers, it's really expensive to make. And the Plain Jane is the one palette that is all shimmers. This one only has 2 matte shades. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Ninhydrin is the only one I think has the same matte to shimmer ratio and is priced the same as this one. So it might be the amount of mattes to shimmers. It's just that all of the palettes are the standard size, but all of the prices are different. Just something that I noticed. Anyways, those are all of the product details that I know about the palette so far. If I discover anything else, I'll put it down in the description box. Now, I do have an affiliate code with Adept Cosmetics. It's just my name, Jamila. It will save you 10% off if you decide to pick it up. It is affiliated, so I do get a small kickback if you do decide to shop that. Obviously, it goes back into the channel, but I just wanted to let you all know, if you don't want to buy, honestly, you don't have to use my code. Just use somebody's code. You know what we say here, don't pay full price if you don't have to. So if you plan on picking this up, use somebody code. But just letting you guys know, I do have a code. I'll list it down. It'll be in the description box, and it is affiliated if you care. Anyways, now that we've gone through product details, let's dive into some live swatches, and then I will come back, give you guys this full face, and then we'll wrap up today's video. Okay, so now that we've gone over the product details, let's dive into the live swatches. So I'll save the two mattes for last, but let's just go in. So pretty. Okay, here we have the first 4 shades. Do you see the texture? Like, wow, that's insane. Okay, Minka, Emma, Ava, and Layla. Wow. That is gorgeous. And I still have product on my fingertips. You do not need a lot. And let me spread this out a little. Okay. There it is, a little bit more spread out. You can see that it's pretty chunky. But it is so beautiful. I have so much product left over on my fingers, y'all. Like, I could... That's one swipe. Like, damn, that's insane. And I still have product left. Like, I'm not making this up. Here we have the next 4 shades. I tried to pick up less product because, as you can see, very, very pigmented. It goes a long way, but we'll see how this goes. Okay, so we have Maya, Luna, Nora, Cora. Oh, that's pretty. Let me spread this out. This Cora shade is gorgeous. And Luna definitely has that blue purple multi-chrome dual chrome thing going for it. Again, I still have so much product left over. Like, I'm not gonna keep double swatching. Okay, and here are the final 4 shades. These are the last 2 shimmers, and you can already see that it has a very different texture than the other ones that I just showed. And here we have the 2 matte shades. So let's go in with the 2 shimmers. We have Linda and Selena. Oh, that's beautiful. And then the mattes are Toya and Maria. So here we have it. Here we have all 12 shades. Very glam, very glitzy, very glittery. I am impressed. I will say that. Very impressed. Now, Linda and Selena, they have a close flip, but one has more purple, one has more green. Okay, I'm going to wipe this off and we will dive into one quick eye look. I can't tell if I want Linda or Selena on the eyes. It's going to be one of them. I know that. The last thing I will say is that the vast majority of these shades have a texture that's very reminiscent to the House of Elle palette. And these last 2 shimmers, the multichromes, have a different texture and feel to them. They remind me more of the Amunet shimmers than the chunky ones here. Okay, so let's dive into one quick eye look. Now, this palette only has 2 matte shades, so obviously if you want to do more, you're going to have to dip into another palette to get some more mattes, but I think that the 2 mattes look like they pair really well with all of the shimmers in the palette, so that's what we're going to work with. And we're going to keep this really, really simple. Love pulling off this from the mirror. So I'm just going to put, you know, crease, outer corner, and then a lid shade. So I'm going to go in with the first matte, Toya. Now this is a purple gray matte. I'm picking this up with my rougher number 16. Now, You guys know I am not the biggest fan of Adept's matte formula, but they did reformulate in their Amulet palette, the reformulated Amulet palette. So I'm hoping that the mattes in this palette are the same formula in that palette, because the ones prior to that just were not my cup of tea, not my cup of coffee, not my cup of juice, none of that. And I will say this is feeling real reminiscent of the new one, which I'm very happy about. So I'm just popping that all over the crease. And it is applying well, blending well. Not seeing any issues here whatsoever. I like this purple gray shade. And I don't think it's giving me ash, which I appreciate. I think this could work really well for a number of complexions. The other option too is to start with the deeper matte, so that Maria shade, and then use this as a blend out shade if you have a deeper complexion and you're worried about it looking a little ashy. Next, I'm gonna go into my Chic Curl Crease brush. It's just a basic brush I picked up at Five Below, and I'm gonna take the darker matte, the shade Maria, and I'm gonna use that to deepen up the outer V.
I close my eyes and lightning strikes, so I won't sleep till I get it right. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain all night.
This is really good pigment.
Just let it rain on me.
Yeah, this is definitely the new matte formula. Thank you, Jesus. I like this.
Just let it rain on me.
Y'all, this is about to be the quickest look I've ever done. And I know I say that all the time, but I think this time is true. Partly because there's not a lot of matte, so I can't do too much. And also I have like 3 or 4 other videos I need to film today, so your girl doesn't have a lot of time. Ooh, the blend on this is so good. Yeah, I really like this. And I'm like, you know, stressing on the blend of the mattes because I know I like the Adept shimmer formula. That's never been an issue. But the mattes have always been a little like, is it gonna blend or not? And she blended. She is blending. This looks so good, y'all. Now I'm just gonna take that first brush that I used with the lighter matte and blend the tops together. And then I'm gonna go into Linda. I'm gonna go into Linda and I'm gonna put that all over the lid. Every time I see this shade, it makes me think of, you remember that kid? It was like a meme or something. I think this was before TikTok. And he was like, listen, Linda, listen, Linda. That's all I hear with this shade. Anyways, I'm gonna use my finger to pick it up. And I'm just gonna apply that all over the lid. Ooh, look at that. Yes. Okay, this is giving glam, baby glam. There is so much pigment in one swipe that I am just able to go to the next eye and apply some of that without even dipping back into the pan. That is crazy.
Everything that goes up must come down. And every time I think I got it made, I drown. I wish that it were different now, but that's how it's gotta be, so let it rain on me.
Okay, this is it. This is the look. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, you know, go in with a brush, clean up the eyes, make sure I blend everything together so we don't have any harsh lines, and then I'll come back, finish up the rest of my face, and give you guys my first impressions thoughts, which y'all already know, you can tell. All right, I'll be right back.
Just let it rain on me. Yeah. I close my eyes and lightning strikes, so I won't sleep till I get it right. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain all night. I close my eyes and lightning strikes, so I won't sleep till I get it right.
Okay, I'm back and this is the final look. I really like this. It was so Simple, so quick and easy. Okay, let me just tell you a little bit about how I finished up the look, and then I'll give you my first impressions thoughts. So just really quickly for the waterline, I did go back in with the deep purple matte shade, and then I went in with Selena for the inner part of the eye, which has a little bit more pink purple to it than the other multi-chrome, which I like. I think it pulled this look together really well. For the rest of my face, I am wearing the Hourglass Soft Glow Foundation. For bronzer, I decided to go a little luxuriously today. So I'm wearing the Gucci bronzer. And for blush, I'm wearing Cosmic Coral from Pat McGrath. That's, you know, one of those dual blushes. That is my blush. And for my lip, I actually went in with my Tom Ford Été Brûlant lipstick. I hope I pronounced that right. Really, really pretty. And I just used my Morphe Toasty liner for the lip. And, oh, wait. Lastly, for highlight, I am also using Patricia. I went in with my Pat McGrath Divine Rose highlights. And that's this face. All right. Anyways, let's talk about Miss Minka, shall we? I had a lot of fun creating this look, mainly because it was real simple, quick, and easy. I really like this palette. Now, I've always really enjoyed, now, I have really been enjoying the House of Elle shimmers, so when I heard this was going to have the same shimmer formula, I did get a little excited. I was really excited that it would be the same shimmer formula, but I do appreciate that they included these two smoother formulas as well. And I will say that overall, I think this is a really nice, neutral yet glam color story. I think that the mattes that they chose here work really well. I appreciate that these would also work for a deeper complexion as well. Like you can go in with the deep purple, then blend it out with the lighter purple gray shade. So I think this is a really nice thought out color story that I am really, really into. Now, because most of these shimmers are chunky shimmers, if you are someone that has texture on your lids or you are not really into those very chunky shadows, it is something to be mindful about in purchasing because it will emphasize texture. Granted, I did not use any of those chunky glittery shades, so can't really speak to it too much, but I don't have texture lids and I don't mind it. But if that is something that you are concerned about, it might be something that you want to take into account. I really like this palette. I think it works well. The mattes here are those same good mattes that were in the Amunet palette. So if you were like me, you weren't too fond of the matte formula, I think the two mattes in here are a really nice formula. And also it's just two mattes. That's the other thing too to think about with this palette is that it is a shimmer heavy palette. So you will have to reach into like mattes from somewhere else if you want something a little bit different. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a somewhat purple leaning look because the mattes are purple. So it is, you know, if you are somebody that likes more mattes or you need a greater matte to shimmer ratio, you should take that into account. But if you don't mind reaching in front of the palette, I think you would really like this. Now, the last thing that I want to do is show you guys two palettes that one of you lovely subscribers mentioned might be somewhat similar. I actually don't think that they are similar, but I want to hold up the two palettes next to this one so you can see. And the first one is the Pat McGrath Moonlit Seduction. So this is Mothership 10. This is your new Mothership. Now, I don't think that there are any similarities. You can see that this one is a sort of glam cool tone color story. And here it is next to Minka. I actually think these would pair pretty well, but you can see not dupes. There isn't anything here that I would say you can really dupe out. And then the second palette that they mentioned was the Mary Jane palette from Melt Cosmetics. Now, Melt has a very different formula, so right off of that, I know these aren't going to be dupes, but I don't think the color story is similar either. Yeah, I think these are two very, very different color stories. But I could see how this could pair really well with the Mary Jane palette. And this is brand new because I have not even touched this yet. I picked this up during one of the Melt sales and still haven't used it, so there's that. Okay. So those are my first impressions, thoughts on the new Minka palette. I will continue to try this. This will be in a ranking the last 10 eyeshadow palettes I tried video. So stay tuned for more, you know, thought out, more formulated thoughts on this. This is just the first impressions. I'll have all details about the palette, the launch, everything down in the description box below, so check that out if you are planning to pick this up. So like I said in the intro for today's video, I do have a code with Adept. It's just Jamila. It will save you 10% and it is affiliated, so if you do plan on picking it up and you want to shop my code, I of course obviously really appreciate that. You definitely don't have to shop with my code, just shop with somebody code. Please don't pay full price for this if you don't have to. And yeah, that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, I love you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tell a friend. You know the deal. Love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye.